Big day here at Court TV. Welcome back. I'm Matt Johnson, filling in for Ted Rollins alongside Julia Janae. Thanks for being with us. Now, this hour, we are in the state of Wisconsin for the murder trial of Samantha Krebs.
And Samantha Krebs is accused of fatally stabbing her fiance. Her defense is the argument that the victim, Joey Carnot, was suicidal due to being in an ongoing battle with drugs and pushing this theory that Carnot's injuries were self-inflicted. Now, she faces life behind bars without the possibility of parole if she's found guilty of these crimes.
Let's get you back into that courtroom now. On the stand is a detective with the Appleton Police Department Investigative Services Unit.
And then towards the very end of the conversation, when she does agree to come back, I believe she makes a comment of something like, "I'll have my friends bring me back right away." And at that point in the investigation, I was aware that she had driven herself from the scene and had arrived at Mr. Hayes' apartment in her own car, and so I was aware that she had the means to bring herself back to the scene.
So when we talk about the part where she says, she asks if he took something, is that at that point, did you know that she had been at the scene that night?
Yes.
So if we could listen to that call, it's on the exhibits folder in the Exhibit 1, and it's called Officer Felmer Body Cam Clip MP4. If we could play that.
Anyway, the cop wants to talk to you. Okay, hold on. What's up? This is the girlfriend.
It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to.
How do you turn it on the speaker? I think it is wait. There.
This is his girlfriend.
Yeah. This is his girlfriend? Is this Samantha? Where are you right now, Samantha?
I'm over at my friend's.
Your friends?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any way you could come back to the apartment that we could talk with you?
What's going on?
Well, we could explain that maybe if you come over here and talk with us. Some stuff happened at the apartment. What's your boyfriend's name again? Joey, yeah. So it sounds like some stuff happened with Joey, and we were called out here to investigate.
Is he okay?
At the moment?
I know that he has manic episodes, and he was talking me crazy earlier, but...
What was he saying earlier?
He was saying that he was so upset about his son, and because he's going to court to get his son back, and that he was upset that I left, but he was acting so crazy that I freaking had to get out of their way earlier.
Okay. How earlier would you say that would be?
A couple hours.
Like about what time would you say that you left?
I'd say probably around like 7.
Around 7?
I can ask my friend when I got here.
Okay. And what was Joey doing, I guess, that you mentioned he was acting crazy? What was he doing?
When he acts manic, he like assumes I'm cheating on him, and everything I say is a lie, and everything in his reality becomes kind of like a delusion.
Okay.
He's on medication for it, but then they didn't send him to him in the mail right away, so he didn't have him in his system for over 24 hours.
Okay. Would you be okay coming back to the apartment?
Well, is he okay? Is he in the hospital? Should I go to the hospital?
No, don't go to the hospital. I'm not sure what his medical state is right now. I'm not with him, but...
What do you mean his medical state?
Yeah, so he was found... I'm not sure if are these friends of his? Or who are these? Who are the two that are here?
Those are our mutual friends.
Mutual friends, okay. So it sounds like the friends had possibly found him in the apartment. And he just kind of collapsed to the ground. So, but I'm not exactly sure what all the details are surrounding it. Again, I'm not sure exactly all the details surrounding it. I didn't speak with the friends. I just assisted with, I guess, making sure that the scene was all secure and stuff like that. I'm not sure at the moment. We're trying to figure out what happened.
Oh my God.
So, would you be able to come to the apartment or come back to the apartment, and then we can talk with you further here?
I mean, I can.
Okay.
But I'm not supposed to have police contact until I let my PO know first.
Okay. Well, I think they would probably understand this one. I don't think they would have an issue if you were in police contact for this.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, I'll have my friends bring me back right away.
Alrighty, thank you, Samantha.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Investigator Kuether, is there anything else that was particularly of interest to you regarding that call?
There's also the statement regarding kind of the shock or the demeanor of being shocked at the thought of him collapsing. Based on the investigation at that point, our understanding is that he would have been, lying on the floor in the kitchen at the time that she left.
Were you also aware during the investigation that there had been a prior phone call between John and Sam?
You mean prior to this one, but after police responded?
Yes.
Yes, I was.
And did John provide some background information to Sam at that time about what was going on?
I believe he made a comment about Joey being laid out with a knife wound or something to that effect.
And so that was on a previous call as he's kind of exiting the apartment complex?
Correct.
Now, you talked a little bit about general probation rules.
Okay.
I want to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 302. Are you familiar with that?
Yes, I am.
And what is...
Let's bring in trial attorney Jamie White to talk about what we just heard. I mean, Jamie, thanks so much for joining us. What we just heard in that surveillance video from the defendant is pretty bad. I mean, she was there. She would have, if we're looking at this from the defense perspective, she would have said he stabbed himself and I have to leave. But in that call, she's acting like she didn't even know he was hurt. She didn't even know he collapsed.
Yeah, it's certainly her story is remarkable at this point in time. And I think Julia, the defense can't say it out loud, but ultimately what I suspect they're saying behind the curtain is that, we're trying to stay away from first degree. A conviction is likely, but, how do we stay away from first degree premeditated murder and fall into something lesser included, whether that's a second degree or maybe even a manslaughter. I suspect that we'll hear from the defense in closing that, some of these statements were provided because she's on probation. She's trying to stay out of trouble. She doesn't want to be around certain situations. But I agree with you that recording is damning.
Jamie, you said you expect to hear it in closing, but back the truck up. I'm expecting a big, robust defense case here, maybe starting later today. Do you think that this defendant will take the stand?
I do not. I think that her prior statements expose her to an extraordinary cross-examination that it'll be difficult for her to escape from. With that said, Matt, to my earlier point, if in fact the ultimate goal here is to avoid a first-degree mandatory life in prison sentence, and she may have to explain what occurred in that apartment that led to the stabbing, or even if she's going to argue it was some sort of accident, I suppose, it's going to have to be something other than I planned to stab him, and that things escalated into a situation that wasn't planned and wasn't predictable. And that would allow a jury to at least infer that this was not first-degree murder.
That's really important insight about the lessers. That is something to keep in mind, and that the defense may be holding close to the chest until we get further along in this trial.
Yeah, and then, with the ME and the inconclusive, nature of the death, I mean, there's a chance here, but we'll have to wait and see.